At the very outset, I extend my sincere, heartfelt thanks to Swami Isha for enabling us to be here on a very important occasion that coincides with your birthday, sir. So my heartfelt pranam to Swami Isha. And since morning, we have been very patiently listening one after another presentations made by different personalities who have excelled in their respective fields. All my respected colleagues, vice chancellors from the University of Kolkata, vice chancellor of McCourt University, vice chancellor of Rabindra Bharati University, vice chancellor of Malayalam University, Calicut University, one after another. Everyone has excelled in their respective fields. Now I have a question, that the education we are imparting to our students, to the community, is that enough? Straight away, if you ask me, sitting before you, I would say no, it is not enough. Because if you have heard Swamiji's lecture today, patiently he has said, very rightly categorized the differences between subjectivity and objectivity. What we are learning today, what is being taught in the classroom, as a teacher, we provide education based on objectivity, objective truth. In order to be a complete human being, I feel it is my way of understanding things that this is one side of the story, one side of the coin. Let me make my presentation slightly differently before I move forward. Global Energy Parliament, about a year ago, I was not associated, not attached with this Global Energy Parliament. A couple of months ago, in Kolkata Raj Bhavan, there was a program organized and I was one of the invitees. And I had the occasion and opportunity to take part in the Global Energy Parliament program, where for the first time I learned, I understood the significance and importance of educational consciousness. I understood the meaning of holistic education, and then only I started asking a question to myself before I put this question to others, that what was the need of this Global Energy Parliament? There are so many trusts, so many organizations across the globe, voluntary, non-voluntary organizations, institutions who are imparting trainings, programs, holding conferences, symposia. Then what was the significance of Global Energy Parliament? And then the answer I got is that yes, in order to be a complete human being, a complete educational conscious mind, we need to develop, we need to inculcate certain values, certain principles into the minds of our present generations, so that the world can be the world can be a better place, a safer place for the future. Yesterday when I landed here, Ishwaran was there to pick me from the airport. I was amused to see that Ishwaran has come here to receive me at the airport. And immediately after getting introduced to each other, sir, I asked, what is your background? May I know you are from which field? And he says he is a physicist. And very humble, with due humility, he says he is a physicist, but he is a world famous physicist that I learned through my interaction with him. But then again I asked a question to myself, if you are a world class physicist, why are you here? You should have been in Paris only all throughout and carry on with your teaching and research activities. But somewhere Ishwaran learned, Ishwaran understood like me, though I am a late learner in this field, that no, that is one part, one side of the story of understanding knowledge, gaining knowledge. That is only objectivity, what he is dealing with. Is it right, sir? And that is why Ishwaran told me that twice a year he makes it a point to visit India. He loves India and he visits this country and he tries to understand the significance and importance of education, the true sense, the true meaning of education. The next point I would like to share, because many of the participants here are like my students, for them particularly I would like to share my experience as a student of political science. He says he is going to teach us, take a lecture on enlightenment and modernity, and how he started and from where he started. That is late 18th century, 19th century was the time in the world a radical changes, a radical transformation started taking place, particularly with special emphasis on science, technology, and many other things, new inventions. Because we were, as a student, we are taught that 18th century, 19th century was the period, a turning point for all of us, because that was the time when in reality people of Europe became enlightened because of the contributions made by scientists, philosophers, and many others. But again, my question is that enlightenment and modernity is complete enlightenment to us as a human being? Is that? But we were taught in the classroom that yes, that is the time, that is the period when in the world a new kind of consciousness, a new kind of knowledge revolution started moving forward. But coming here, after listening to Swamiji, particularly, again, let me share this book. I was just posted 2 days ago, sir. Day before yesterday, I received this book by post, because in Kolkata Raj Bhavan, when this program took place, I had the occasion and opportunity to interact couple of individuals who are associated closely with the Global Energy Parliament, and I invited them to Sanskrit College and University. They are from Europe. One couple, they had come forward to my university and they had donated similar kind of 2 books And I had immediately donated those books to my library. And then about 10 days back, when I got the invitation, I was told, when I was in search of this book, I was told that that book has been donated to the library and library is closed because of this vacation period. So I immediately contacted the organizer, and day before yesterday, day before yesterday onwards, I started reading this book. And couple of important points what Swamiji mentions in this book is very interesting, at least as a student of social science. It interests me, and I am sure that all the distinguished participants, after listening to Swamiji, when we go back home, we shall have at least, if not complete enlightenment in our mind, at least to the extent possible, better than the previous one. This is how I feel. And then chapter 5 in the book is very interestingly, it is said, education for total consciousness. Swamiji, if you permit me to share a few things from your book. Education for total consciousness. And in this book, Swamiji, he mentions, very rightly so, that education is far more than schooling, instruction, or repetition of knowledge. It is a process by which a human being learns ignorance about himself. I emphasize, education is something by which a human being learns ignorance about himself and the world. And earlier I was taught in the classroom about enlightenment, contributions, science, technology, advancement, steam engine, aeroplane, etc., etc. Everything with focus on objectivity, objective truth, and so on and so forth. But Swamiji believes that this kind of ignorance about an individual, himself or herself, and the world is very important in order to follow the path of educational consciousness in the future. And Swami Isha, a philosophy, I have become one of your greatest admirers, sir, in the sense that it is not only being practiced in this school here in Trivandrum, Kerala, but what I feel that if we go back to the past, Indian culture, Indian tradition, Indian value system, then we find that somewhere we have emphasized, we have focused on our traditional learning system, we have nurtured our traditional culture, traditional values, and so on and so forth. And in this regard, I would just give one example about the kind of holistic education used to be imparted in the past in India. Allow me to read a few lines which I have jotted down. That is, India has a long tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning from various prestigious institutions like Tokhashila, Nalanda, with special focus on ancient Indian literary works and so on, which described education as 64 kalas or arts, which includes subjects such as singing, painting, carpentry, cloth making, along with soft skills like communication, discussion, debate, as well as professional field like medicines, engineering, chemistry, mathematics, and so on and so forth. So, again, I will not take much time. Before I conclude, I would like to say that if we solely focus on Indian education system, right from our ancient days to the present in the 21st century, what we see is that two parallel kind of systems are going on. One system with special emphasis and focus on science, technology, objectivity. That is one side of the coin. And the other side of the coin is nurturing our culture, our values, our traditional ties, our past, our kinship, etc., etc., etc. Now let me come to the point of Swami Isha's importance, significance, that in this framework, two parallel education, what is the importance of Swami Isha? The importance is two parallel system of education was moving forward, but I have already stated earlier that these were not enough. There needs to be some kind of coordination between the two. And this is where the philosophy of Swami Isha stands, that subjectivity and objectivity, two trends cannot go parallel side by side. Why? Because one is inner part of our mind, one is external part of the world. And these two are very closely connected and integrated with each other. And therefore, if I solely focus on inner part of my understanding, that is incomplete. At the same time, if I focus exclusively on objectivity, that is also incomplete. So that is what precisely Swami Isha in this book. So I would request everyone that when we go back, at least you should have a glance some of the important chapters, some of the important philosophical thoughts and ideas he has tried to develop. So with this, I sincerely acknowledge my heartfelt thanks to the organizers of this particular association, and all that I should say that Jug Jug Jio, because for the betterment of the humanity, for the betterment of the world, Swami Isha's philosophy along with this global energy parliament's values and ideas, they will take us, the whole world, to a new direction. Why? Again, let me conclude with my background as a student of political science. Currently, the entire world is facing numerous challenges. There is the challenge of wars. Not only this morning it has been stated, wars in Ukraine, wars in Palestine, Israel, Middle East area, and in several parts. There is problem relating to human rights. There is problems relating to global warming, energy conservation, several. And at the same time, the kind of knowledge, the kind of science, technology and invention we have achieved, we are not in a position to address these challenges. We know how to address these challenges, but we are incapable. Why? Because subjectivity and objectivity, these two trends are going parallel, and there has to be a combination. Only then we can transform this world into a better living place. Thank you.